Hi you guys, Natalie here from So Hungry Hippie. I'm going to show you today how I make these vinyl organizational cases, zippy pouches, zipper case, whatever you want to call it. It's got this really cool fabric contrast at the top. You could also move this to the bottom, it's up to you. I like it at the top because that's where I grab to open the zipper and I have all my stuff inside. These are pretty quick. All you need is some 10 gauge vinyl or 12 gauge. I'm going to be using the Glitter Stars vinyl from my shop at sohungryhippie.com. And my fabric, I'm just going to use non-directional is best because we do fold the fabric. So I'm going to use this Tula Pink fabric. And I'm just going to use a YKK zipper today. You can use a number 3 zipper by the yard or a number 5 zipper by the yard. Anything will work. We're going to cut it to size. Let's get into it. Okay, so my vinyl is cut to size. I've got 2 pieces. Right now I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to put the interfacing down at the bottom here on both pieces. And this is non-directional, so there's really no top or bottom. Let me move this over here. While I'm at the ironing board, I'm also going to do my zipper tabs. And as you know, I always do them like this. I fold, make a crease, fold to meet in the middle. And then fold like that. So I'm going to go press those now. So the zipper tabs are done. Now I'm just going to fuse the SF101 to the bottom edge of the fabric. There's the wrong side of the fabric. Let's switch over and prep our zipper first. Alright, so the zipper needs to be cut to exactly 11 inches. So I'll measure from here. I'm going to cut off that metal stopper. 10, 11. So I need to pull my zipper pull back and then cut it off. Now it's exactly the right length and I will add the zipper tabs. Okay, so I'm going to sew these on. All right, now let's trim it to the width of the zipper tape. Okay, so now the zipper is the correct width. Of course a train would go by right now. So get out your vinyl and lay it on the work surface and we'll get this sewn on. We're going to be done so quickly. So here you want to make sure that along that top edge of the fabric you press it down 1/4 inch. Then take the side that you interfaced and place it flush with the vinyl and use Wonder Clips to hold it in place. So the vinyl and the fabric are right sides together. And you're going to sew right along that top edge there. We're going to repeat that on the other side. I'm using Gutermann thread, an all-purpose chrome universal needle, and what else can I tell you? A Teflon Foot. Okay, so the fabric and vinyl are sewn together. I'm going to flip it up. Seam allowance is up towards the fabric, and I'm just going to carefully press this. I'm not going to touch my iron to the fabric at all. To the vinyl. I'm not going to touch my iron to the vinyl. Be very careful here. If you doubt yourself, then just give it a finger press. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to do that to both sides. Might want to use a mini iron if you have one so you can be more precise. Okay, both have been pressed up. Now I'm going to go back over to the bird's eye view. If you flip it over, this is how it's going to look. Now, we did press this top edge 1/4 inch down already. You can see what we're going to do. Okay? I use clips to hold this in place. You can use pins. I like to press this with my iron first, and then I'm going to sew all the way down. Okay, so this is holding itself in place pretty well. But for those who want it, you can stick a pin in like this. Notice that it's not anywhere through the lower part of the vinyl. It's through the fabric and a little bit of the vinyl and the seam allowance and the fabric. So now I'm just going to sew all the way down here. Make sure you have the color thread you want for the other side. Make sure that it's even. I can see that I need to bring mine up just a smidge. Flipping it over is really important to check placement. Okay, and now I'm going to sew. Okay, so I switched to my walking foot. This was giving me just a little bit of trouble today. So I'm going to switch to the walking foot. Okay, so this one has been sewn on. I check both sides to make sure it's good. Looks like I need to trim some threads. All right, so now I'm just folding this side down to repeat. So now we will attach the zipper and we are almost done. What you may want to do is trim these sides up. Sometimes my fabric or interfacing just slightly overhangs, so I just like to clean it up before I attach the zipper. All right, so now we've got our two sides and the zipper, and we are ready to put this case together. So take one side and decide whichever, both sides are going to look the same, but decide which one you want facing on the outside. So the outside is facing up, the zipper is facing down on the case. You have a finger of space on each side. So the zipper is centered, right sides together. And we're going to sew this in place. Make it flush with that top edge. Jeez, Tori. I'm going to pull this back to get started. You can also use pins. This is just fabric here. So if you want to use pins, you can. I'm going to put on my zipper foot as well. So I'm going to take off my walking foot, put on my zipper foot, move my needle over to the side, test it. Yep, it's good. All right. I'm coming up to that pull, so I'm going to move it. And it's on. All right, so that zipper is sewn down and on there securely. What I like to do is push it up, and I'm finger pressing that seam allowance down towards the fabric. And then I'm going to top stitch that to hold it in place, and everything looks really neat and sharp. So looking from the other side, it looks like this. Seam allowance is pressed down. And I'm going to go to the machine and top stitch all the way down. I'm going to move that pull. There it is. So now it's top stitched, and we will add the other side. So place the other side, right side's up facing us, and we're going to flip this over so the zipper is facing down, and be sure to match your side edges, and the top edge of the zipper is flush with the top of the fabric on the other side. See that? My pug is snoring very loudly. Okay, let's sew that down. Okay, so the zipper is attached. Make sure you open the zipper now, at least over halfway. I just open it all the way, it's easier. And bring the bottom edges of your vinyl to meet, and use clips to hold in place. You can see that my zipper is at the top. And if you notice, we have some space here on the end to sew. That's for our seam allowance. You can add more clips along the side. You do want to make sure that your fabric contrasts are lined up. And I always put a clip there. If you want to put a pin, you can. That's a good idea too. Put your pin only in the fabric, of course. Flip it around. I'm going to make sure this is just like not even 1/8 of an inch off, but that'll bother me. So I'm going to put a pin in the fabric to hold it. And then I'm going to grab some more clips. Put some clips around here. So as you can see, this is what I've got now. And I'm going to sew down the sides and across the bottom, flip it right sides out, and we're finished. Home stretch, almost done. Make sure your zipper is open. Here we go. This is a time where I put my Teflon foot back on. And here we go. Note how I'm going right by the zipper tab. I'm not sewing over the zipper tab. Okay, so now this is sewn. Trim all your threads and turn it right sides out. Now at this point, if you wanted to add boxed corners, you can. That's a different tutorial. If you're in a cold region, you might want to blow dry this to warm it up a bit before turning, or after turning. If you've got a bunch of wrinkles, you can just hit it with the blow dryer for 30 seconds or so, high heat, and it'll smooth right out. I'm going to attempt to do this on a very frigid day in Wisconsin. I may need Tori to go get me the blow dryer. It's a little bit cold. Make sure you come in here and press these zipper tabs out. You will have to press them out. It won't do it automatically. Gotta come in and press your finger or your thumb under there and get them out, okay? I may have to get my blow dryer to get these bottom corners out perfectly. And I just kind of go along with my finger and push everything out. If you don't want to use your finger, you can use a turning tool or anything like that. If you use 10 gauge, this part is even easier. But remember, I'm using 12 gauge. It's a little thicker, a little stiffer. And there it is. So remember to look in the description box for all the information you need to make this, as well as my website for sewable vinyl, and I have a free vinyl sewing guide as well on there. You can click and download or just read it on the website. Whatever you want to do, it's there for you. All right, have fun.